Wife Jane Rowland, she's going to come and share about a time that she was praying. She was praying, and God spoke to her. I think you're really, every time I hear this story, I get encouraged. So if for no one else, she's here for me. Yes, thank you, sweetheart.
I'm going to share this story because it says in Psalm, I will tell of the wonders of the Lord, and I will speak it aloud. It's not because he needs to be reminded, it's because we need to be reminded, and somebody here needs to hear this story. So I'm going to tell you this story. But first, to understand this story, I need to make sure you know my name. What's my name?
Jane.
Yeah. Well, I've been telling this story for 30 years, so that's going to tell my age. I actually turned 47 yesterday. Yeah.
Congratulations.
But 30 years ago, it was the spring of 1993, and I was a senior in high school. I was 17 years old, and I had grown up in a Christian home, had heard about God speaking really my whole life, and that was just a normal thing for me. So encouragement number one, make it normal to your kids that God speaks.
That's right.
But anyway, I was 17 years old. I knew that I had a heart for ministry and a heart for missions, and I just didn't know how I was going to get there, how God was going to lead me in that way. And do you ever have days that you never forget? Yeah. This is a day I'll never forget. It was a normal day. I worked at a Bible gift shop in Martinsville, Virginia. I went to Martinsville Christian School. I went to Martinsville Christian Fellowship. So it was just a normal day for me at work, and I was closing up shop, and I just remember that whole day just feeling like this urgency in my spirit, like even an anxiousness / urgency to know what God had for me next. And that day I just worked like normal, came home from work, and it was kind of late, and I looked on my bed. I had a white bedspread, and the only thing sitting on it was a magazine. And I got this magazine several times throughout the year. It was called Campus Life. And it was just a Christian magazine for high schoolers and college students. And this magazine was sitting on my bed. And I remember walking in my room and still, like I said, just feeling this urgency to know what God had for me next. And I saw this magazine on my bed. And I said, God, will you speak to me through this magazine? Just a simple childlike faith, asking him if he would speak. And I went right up to my bed. I closed my eyes, 17-year-old Jane Stifler. I closed my eyes, and I opened that magazine. And I didn't fiddle through the pages. I opened the magazine, opened my eyes, and a half-page ad said, "See, Jane, go. Go, Jane, go. You can go too, get there, with Youth with a Mission, Tyler, Texas." Now, Youth with a Mission was one of the largest Christian missionary organizations in the world. I had barely heard about it. It's short for YWAM, which some of you have heard of that. I went running and woke up my parents and said, "I'm going to Texas. I'm going to YWAM." And I was barely 18 years old, and my parents sent me off to YWAM, and I got to serve in missions for years, and then God called us here. The words my dad said to me before he put me on the plane was, "You're going to meet your husband." I was like, no, I'm going to be in the jungle translating Bibles, but I got him instead. So
it's kind of a jungle at our house. Our house is kind of a jungle.
But I just want to encourage you guys that God speaks. I think some of you need to hear today that you do not have a silent father. Yes. You might have grown up with one that was silent or didn't maybe show the love or the affection or the words that you needed to hear, but he wants you to know that he is not silent. It says in John that my sheep hear my voice. Okay. I know them and they follow me. You are known by the Heavenly Father, by the King of Kings, and he loves you so much. And I want to encourage you with one more thing, is that make it a practice. In the morning when you wake up, simply say, "God, I'm listening. Will you speak to me?" And I promise you're going to hear him speak.
That's good. That's good, sweetheart. Thank you. Getting goosebumps. That's so good.